the exchange of knowledge, inspiring and empowering artists in all areas of the media and entertainment industry. In addition, he's helping to connect artists with prospective employers. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Andre Luis, founder and CEO of Trojan Horse Was a Unicorn, or how we normally call it THU. So, Andre, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Rob, what a great intro. What can I say? First of all, obviously, thank you for Zoo Organization for the invitation. It's really an honor. And it's true, you just said, the first time we talked, we realized that we had a lot of things in common, what is super interesting and not common in a way. And obviously, the words that you just just said are, I don't know what to say. Thank you. So my side, what can I say? I'm a Portuguese, a naive Portuguese that one day dreamed that was possible to try to change our world in terms of creativity and art. So in 2013, I started a project called THU. And since then, I've been developing the project. And nowadays, THU is a global organization with one goal that is helping creators to improve their lives. And that's it in a way. Everyone knows THU as the main event, but THU is now, we have now multiple projects, but obviously the main event is the one that everyone knows. And I think we can start the conversation by showing the last THU that happened in Malta. And at the end of the day is the project that everyone knows or connects with THU. So hope you guys enjoy.
Oh, perfect. So we do have a short video.
I didn't know anyone directly that had actually been to THU before, but they all seemed to know someone who did. These are all secondhand stories that kind of trickled their way down to me, and it made THU into this strange, almost mythological thing.
There's so many kinds of people in this world. There's so many things to see.
It's really motivational and it's really inspirational.
Basically, my Instagram has become alive.
It is truly one of the true honors of my life to be able to welcome the tribe back to THU 2019.
Try again. This is like a schoolboy dream come true, this movie.
If you're curious about something, if you want to try something, just do it. Reach out to artists.
This week, I'm gonna hand over the controls to my inner child. And I humbly ask that all of you embrace your inner child as well as each other. Lots of embracing.
THU success, in my opinion, it's about the interaction, the friendship that we built during the 7 days.
Choose speech, take one.
I think my mother would cry if she sees me in this costume. Inner child. Do I intimidate you?
Ikki, ikki, ikki.
Cheese. Jon. Hi. Oh my god, you have such a nice suit on you. Hello, ho. Sing it! Roll it back. Here we go. Oh. Here we go. Are you guys done?
This is the last chance to be a THU Titan champion. Just do it! No!
craziness going on this screen.
I just want to meet as many people as I can so I can go home and hopefully keep in contact with them and just grow together.
You meet people and you find people like you and that you can really get along with, and that naturally leads to collaboration.
Do the thing, there's a world of opportunities, your voice needs to be heard.
I realized how important it is to have an art family around you.
This building and the fort almost is like a long-lost civilization or something, and now we're back here experiencing and like recreating a new civilization of our own, the tribe.
いつの日かトライブは日本で会うことになるだろう。
So, what's going to happen in Japan?
This is not THU, the main event. Is something that was missing. An event just focused on storytelling.
This trip has been life-changing.
I think I have to come back. I can't miss it.
I'm just really grateful to be here.
Thank you so much for all the support.
All right, well, watching that brings back so many great memories. It makes me long for when we when we can get the tribe back together again. But let's kind of start things off about learning a little bit more about you. So, where did your creative journey start as far as your schooling?
My creative journey, quite simple, like almost everyone in our industry. Like I studied art in high school. I took a degree in this industrial design at the time. I chose industrial design because in Portugal was the only degree that will allow me at the time to work with computers, with 3D. I always had the passion for animation in a way. But after that, my life changed. I started a company in terms of branding. I fell in love with branding, and after that, a roller coaster that ends up me going to bankruptcy twice. And in the middle, I was the marketing director of the football club from the Premier League of Portugal. And after that, I was the founder of the first computer graphics school in Portugal. And at the end of this journey of the school, I decided to make THU. So and since 2013, more or less THU becomes my life, and everything I do is more or less connected with THU. In a nutshell, I think is this.
Well, I mean, so you've always been a creative. We've known each other since 2015, so going on almost 7 years now. So, when you were really young, before you even got into school, what drew you to art? Were you into drawing? Or were you? What was your? What really motivated you?
I always liked to draw. I think was the freedom in a way, a freedom. Being an artist is connected with freedom, and so with that in my mind, I always wanted to be like a rebel in my family. So being an artist, I was a rebel. So I always liked to draw, to paint, to sculpt, and I was actually good at that time, and was my passion. Nowadays, I'm a different type of creative. I'm a Excel, Google Docs creative. Before that, I can't remember the last time I opened a Photoshop. Maybe it was in 2009, the last time I opened a Photoshop. So that was because of that.
Do you miss not being so hands-on in the the traditional sense of being an artist?
No, because at some point I realized that I was not so good as in the creative side. I was like the technical side. I was a good creative technique side. I was not the guy that concept artist that have incredible ideas and know how to draw. And now I'm really lucky because I have now my ideas and I'm surrounded by the best of the world, and I can just share them my ideas and they do it for me. So it's I'm really blessed for that nowadays. So I don't miss to hands-on at all. Really, at all.
You don't miss the deadlines and the client reviews.
I never had client reviews in a way. I was pretty lucky that to be like in charge in a way. So I never worked for others in a way. So I always been my boss. So it's strange, but it's true. It's not because I like to be an entrepreneur. To be honest, I don't like to be an entrepreneur. The thing is like my ideas or the kind of stuff I wanted to do, others will never pay for that. So if you don't pay for that or they didn't believe in me, like I started doing because of that. Not because I always wanted to have a company. I always wanted to do this or that.
Well, okay, so you had you were doing creative work in the traditional sense, and then you made this shift over to the THU side of things, where you started becoming an advocate and one that's trying to nurture and build the industry. What was what caused that shift from being a hands-on artist to a certain degree to becoming an advocate? What was that defining moment that made you say, hey, this is the path I'd like to go down?
Well, different parts, to be honest. Like I was saying, I at some point had my companies and I wanted to hire people in Portugal. And this was 2007, 2008, so it was long time ago. And I realized there was no schools in Portugal that actually could get the people I needed with the correct. It was impossible to hire at the time. And the schools at the time, and the funny thing was the schools in 2007 are in the same place that is now 2021 in a way. So it was pretty hard to hire talents. So at some point I realized that if I want to do something, I need to change my mentality. So I decided to co-found the school. So in 2008, 2009, I was a co-founder of the first computer graphics schools in Portugal, really focused in concept art and 3D. At the time was pretty unique. And that was like the moment, like, okay, if you want to grow, you need people, you need talents, but the schools don't hear you, the schools doesn't care, you don't have the lobby. So the only thing you can do or try, okay, I will build my own school and I will try to teach and try to change something in terms of talents. And from that, THU was a consequence of the 5 years I spent in the school learning and all that stuff, in a way.
Oh, very nice. Well, in 2015, I mean, that's a few years ago, when I had originally joined Lenovo, I was asked to attend an event that I had never heard of, and it was called THU. And at that time, I think I've told you this story before, but I thought I had attended every single conference in the world, or I'd interacted with in some way, shape, or form every organization that was tied to the media and entertainment industry. And when I went, I thought, okay, this is going to be just another one of those cookie cutter type of events where it's like there's going to be some papers and panels, which are always it's always great to learn, and then there's a little bit of training sprinkled in for good measure. What I can say is that my expectations were nothing close to the reality of what you were doing at the event. With THU, and even today, I still am challenged in a good way when somebody asks me to say, describe THU. I mean, for those of you that have logged into the webinar, when you watch the video, I mean, how do you describe that? so in your own words, how do you describe THU to somebody that is not familiar with it, or somebody that I always kind of like saying, explain it to me like you'd explain it to my mother, where she would be so disconnected from something like this.
Well, the word that I feel more connected when I had to explain is boot camp. So boot camp is like, okay, it's a boot camp. It's 1 week where you are there to change something in your life. So when you go to an event, you are always looking for something. That's the reason you spend money to go to somewhere else, like pay a ticket, flight ticket. So for us, THU is a boot camp where my mission is to change your life. So at the end of the day, it's a boot camp that is a human behavior experience from my side. So what I do in 6 days, it's build a strategy that will allow me to change the attendees every day. Ultimately, in the last day, they lost layers. We are all introverts. We are always like our fears and our backgrounds that doesn't allow us to do this or that or connect. So my goal with the 6 days is to make sure that you lose some of that layers that protects you to have honest conversations. So if you are a newbie or you are a senior, you are looking for a new job, you are looking for your first job, you are looking to improve your portfolio, you are looking for what's the next step of your career, we are always looking for something. THU is about that. And we can only have this if someone trusts us. And something that you don't get in events normally is trust. Like, why should I do a business with you? Why should I hire you? Why should I have a collaboration with you if I don't trust you? And it's pretty hard to get trust. So what we do, and it's, if people ask me, was like prepare in advance. No, I was hoping that this could actually succeed, but eventually it succeed. And nowadays THU is true. After 6 days, you have like a friendship. Friendships are built in 6 days. And this is honest, it's true. And nowadays it's not marketing. So a lot of people were thinking that this was marketing bullshit. And that's it. If it is easy, no. It's expensive, yes. Not only because of the money, but you are obliged to stay there 6 to 7 days. And nowadays, being away, well, now with COVID, everything is different. But before COVID, being away 6, 7 days from your office was pretty complicated. So it's the mindset needs to be in the correct place. And we know a lot of people that don't go to THU because they know that they don't have the mindset in the correct place in that year. So it's not good for them to go because it's super intense, that's for sure. And that's it. Did I explain well? Maybe not. Maybe not.
You explained it very well. I just wish I was taking notes so I could then parrot those words onto others when they ask me as well. But okay, so kind of putting on your way back hat. When was the moment, or not necessarily the moment, or kind of the when did you first think of hey, let's create this conference, which it's more than a conference, but I mean, or it might be a better way of saying it, when did you first create this interaction or activity?
So a true story is, when I was at the school, I started to have like the first batch of students. At some point, we had like an incredible group of students, and the Portuguese market didn't hire them. And in 2011, the connections are not what we have now. Like, was pretty complicated for me or someone in Portugal to connect someone in England or even Spain. Like, everything was super hard. There was no LinkedIn's at the time the way we know now, or like even the relationship we know. So in 2011, that particular group of students, they didn't get the job, but they were pretty good. So I opened a company for them. So with that company, we create a showreel, and I sent the showreel to all the places I knew I found online. I went to a couple of conferences to introduce myself, and all the doors were closed. Not even a reply to my emails, everything. So, and even at the time when I had the school, I tried to contact Autodesk and Adobe and Wacom, like to have like some sponsorship all the time. But a couple of years after, I realized that they never replied to me, because when they see it, the word Portugal, they literally delete it, because there is no market in Portugal, so there is no worth it to actually spend time reading this email. So I was a bit desperate, like, okay, I have now an incredible group of Portuguese talents for the first time. We can really do a great job, and no one's is hire us or even give us a chance. So I was a bit desperate, and this is a true story. New Year's Eve, 1 of January, actually, I was walking in Troja, because I spent the New Year's Eve in Troja. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, was a lot of fog, and I was walking super worried, because at the time I still was in bankruptcy. So I was like, okay, now one more year. I need to find answers to my life, because this is not the way to go. And so I was walking by to the Congress Center that I never seen there before. And at the moment I realized, okay, I know what to do it. I will bring everyone to my hometown and I will introduce myself. So the goal was not to do a conference. The goal was, this is a marketing strategy to actually promote my company. And the way to do it was, okay, I will do it in the way that I believe everything should be done, in no VIPs way. So there is no VIPs. There is no protocols will be about the family values. It's all THU is all about. So that was quite simple concept. And well, for me, as you know, because you were there in 2015, after 3 years, no one's actually supported me, including my own country. So I had to shut down the project in 2015. So, but this is the real story. So the reason I actually built this is I wanted to introduce myself, to show the talent in Portugal. And suddenly we had 14 nationalities, and every day something, we discovered that we are changing the world at the time. So, and we did it. So after the first edition, I got a job to the people that were working with me, and I start focusing in THU and to understand now what's the next step and the next step and the next step and the next step. And that's exactly what we are doing now.
So your first gathering was in 2014, right? Or 2013?
2013.
2013. And what was the response?
Was terrible. Terrible. The response was terrible. Like literally, we had almost more speakers. Yeah, because there was a crazy name call, and I had an idea of the event in 1 of January 2013. We released the website in April 2013, and the event happened in September 2013. So from the idea until launch, the concept was only until happening was 9 months. So it was literally a child. So the logo, building the name, speakers. I never did an event before, so it was my first event ever. And when we released the tickets, we started really well. One guy, a Turkish guy, bought the first ticket at midnight, so it was pretty cool. And I was like, okay, this is huge, and nothing else happens. So we sold only like 40 tickets. I managed to give some extra tickets. So at the end, we had like an audience of 110 people, and 30 were speakers. So it was pretty crazy. At the end of that first event, I was in bankruptcy again, with minus a lot of money. But the reaction during the event, the response during the event, and after the event was something that I never imagined. Every day, every day people were crying. We saw happiness in people's face, and we saw that things were changing in that people. A lot of things, you saw it, you were seeing.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the first event, social media was, whoa, was crazy. And from then we started selling out the tickets in a couple of weeks, of hours or days. It's pretty wild. So
you've come a long way from the very first event to the last event that we were able to have in person in Malta. You know, you've obviously had a very incredible journey, and you've taken a lot of people along with you on this journey. Me being fortunate enough to be one of them. But you know what? You know, aside from some of the things that you've mentioned, where it's trying to grasp or jump into unfamiliar territory where you've never put on events in the past, and then you're all of a sudden doing them. I mean, what were really the biggest challenges for you in making THU kind of what it is today?
The biggest challenge was surviving in a way that do what we do costs money, and the kind of stuff we wanted to do to help people costs money, and we struggle every day for €1. So the biggest challenge was how can we actually continue to show to everyone that we are right in a way, and not putting in jeopardize our families, or my family at the time was just me and Dinesh, my co-founder, and our family loans us money, and they helped us a lot, but the market itself didn't. So the biggest struggle was actually convincing the companies to help us to build experience in a way we wanted, because we are telling companies that if you want to change, you can't go massive, because massive doesn't change anyone. Massive doesn't bring nothing new besides like show off for a couple of hours, but it's not something that you take home and you continue with you. And so that was one big challenge, convincing companies that the way to go and change is not about massive, it's a niche. The second thing was convincing them the best way to connect is to actually help and not just having a logo. So you need to build experience, not to put logos. Oh, it's not like we need to activate a brand activation. No, this is not about brand activation. Like, this is like, how can a brand help by their heart the community? How a brand can actually be part of the success of the community. So this mindset was actually our biggest, and it still is in a way our biggest struggle, because the type of KPIs that the big companies rule doesn't connect with the kind of change you want to have in people's life.
Right.
So, and it is what it is. We already learn how to do it in a way that we know where to go, but it was the biggest struggle. And for 3 years, as you know, there was no one actually supporting us until 2015 that Lenovo shows up and gave us the biggest sponsor at the time. But it was too late, because we were already in bankruptcy. After 3 years, we lost hundreds of. I was in a bad shape financially, like personal loans. I never have an investor, so because I can't deal with other people's money. So, and because I'm a risk taker, I prefer to risk with my money, not with others' money. So I never accepted, or I was looking for others' money. And even the sponsors, my partners, I'm always like, I don't dream when I receive the money. It helps me, but at the same time, the pressure is super high. So the biggest challenge was definitely changing the mentalities of brands. That's the most difficult. The rest was not easy, but it is what it is. So we knew that was part of the process, but it depends on us to actually do that kind of stuff. But we can change like a big organization that's more than money, like the organization being part of the struggles of the artists.
It's almost trying to change their philosophy to a certain point.
Yeah, it is. So
we've talked a little bit about your struggles. So let's kind of take a step back and look at those that are, the individuals that you're interacting with, that you're trying to support and inspire. What do you think some of the biggest challenges or issues that you see artists or studios or even the industry, the creative industry, because it's not just limited to media and entertainment. I mean, there's creativity in, design and manufacturing and whatnot. But what do you think the biggest challenges or issues are that those individuals are facing, those that are coming to your conference?
It's in a way like what changed from 2013 to 2022 is, at least from our tribe grow, and they started as finding the new job to become the new entrepreneur. So, and now you can see the challenges. You still have the challenge from the young students that a lot of schools, they still don't prepare you to the university, to the market. So there's a lot of students, they are super lost. They don't understand what to do, full of like struggles to get the first gig, because they don't have any answers online, sending portfolios and that kind of stuff. So this is a struggle. Like it's the same struggle since 10 years ago and 15 years ago, and we still have. I'm trying to solve it in a way. The second is, a lot of these young students that became juniors, they are stuck in their careers because, again, lack of confidence. There is a lack of safe net for these creators. We are all introverts always spend time in our cave, so it's still like super hard to connect. So the struggle is real at some point. And the third is, this is something that is happening, like the new generation of entrepreneurs, like they want to have their own projects, they want to have their own companies, that they don't know how to do it. This is from the perspective individuals. The companies, the struggle is the same again, like they are all looking for talent, and it's really hard to get talent, and especially in days like the ones we are living, that is, the demand is so high, we need talents for yesterday. But it's all about trust and finding. Now talent that is available is a rare thing nowadays. Good talent available is a rare thing nowadays, and talent that you trust, that it's even more rare. So that's the reason a lot of companies, they came to THU, because they know in a way or another, like if you are part of THU, is because you have some values, and they know that the THU guy or THU girl, we have a way to think that give you some like trust, let's say this. So more or less is that.
So THU, what THU is really offering those individuals that are facing these challenges and issues are that they're giving them mentorship, they're providing them guidance, they're helping them make connections throughout the industry to better inform themselves or to hone their skills.
We are giving a safe net, a place where actually people care about you and trust you and help you in any way you need. So it's all about trust. It's all about network. And what THU does, it's like a safe network. It's the kind of stuff that you need to be at THU to understand this. But it's true. What we do is, all of us, we can only grow, we can only improve if we have people that are helping us. So it's all about surrounding ourselves with the best people in the world. It's the key. The question is, how can I do that? Because it's quite impossible. If I'm all the time at my house, my room, working or studying, I don't have that. Online, you don't get real connections. So how can you do this? And this is part of the process. You need to go out there and go to conference and go to talk with people, because at the end of the day, it's something that schools doesn't teach. They don't teach. It's the most important thing, actually, so you can actually have success. The technical skills are good, but the personal skills, or at least the networking, are super important. And that's it. THU does. THU is a place for introverts to get a network of introverts. That's it. It's everybody at THU, they suffer from the same problem. I don't like to talk with people. I'm shy to talk with people, and it is what it is. Like, that's what we do.
Well,
I don't know.
So we've talked a little bit about the attendees. So you call those the individuals that support THU or the tribe, they're called knights. And just going through and looking at a list of the knights that you've had in the past reads it's like the who's who of technology or Hollywood. I mean, you've got individuals like Shuzo Shioda, who's the president of Polygon Pictures. Also, he's, you know, an Emmy Award winner. You've got individuals like Brenda Chapman, you know, first female to win an Oscar for Best Animated Feature for, you know, Brave, or probably one of the best known graphic design artists in the world, like Kim Jung-ji. And then you have technologists like Kim Libreri, you know, who's currently the CTO at Epic Games, or Vicky Dobbs-Beck over at ILMX Lab. Sid Mead. I mean, you've, you know, you're really bringing in, you know, individuals that are legends, or individuals that are, you know, breaking down barriers within the industry to be the mentors, or to help guide the tribe. I mean, how do you do this? I mean, it's just, it's incredible.
A funny thing is, like, more than that, we always try to bring good people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Academy Award winners and a lot of like artists. They are not like the person people. They don't connect with our values. They don't have like what we call like the soul of THU. So we always try, first of all, to bring good people, and that helps. And so Kim, Brenda, Peter Ramsey, Norman Seif, Crash McCurry, all equal. Some of them, they go to other events and they go. But the difference is they don't spend time. They are not there to connect. And so when we approach all these speakers, we tell them that this is, I know you guys are super busy, and a lot of speakers, they are not coming to THU because of the strong agenda. So it is what it is. But how we do it is a miracle. Answer your question, is a bit a miracle, because convincing these incredible minds to actually spend like 5-6 days at THU, 12 hours a day, surrounded by a crazy bunch of artists, is a miracle. I'm really blessed that they accepted this challenge. I'm really blessed that they actually love it. But it's a miracle. But that's the secret. Like, you go to them, we explain what we're trying to do. They never believed in what you are saying, but they go to THU, and after 3 days, they stay more 2 days, and they stay more. They are converted. So it is now it's easier, as you know, but
Yes.
4 years ago was pretty complicated.
So, hey, we're running really close to the very end of our time. I've got one last question before we kind of, you know, we open things up to answer questions from those that have logged in to watch this webinar. But where can individuals go to learn more about Trojan Horse Was a Unicorn, or THU?
The best place nowadays is our website, and something that
I think
I've
the
been
link
trying,
is in the link is in the
bio.
description. Hold on, I'm going to
www.
do it below.
Yeah. www.trojans-unicorn.com, I think.
Or if you do a Google search, it's just, if you type in Trojan Horse Was a Unicorn, it will be the first thing that comes up.
But everyone will see that nowadays it's truly a global organization where you have events, challenge, and there is coming up more new stuff. And the goal is always to help. That's the thing, always to help. And it's not only the main event, but it's just what I'm saying. Not only the main event.
Yes. So okay, well let's do this. So let's go ahead and open up. And make, we've got it. How did the COVID crisis, transform the relationship between the creative community worldwide, and how did it impact the tribe?
Well, in terms of the community worldwide, the most important thing that everyone knows that it's possible to work remotely, especially in the visual effects world. Was the biggest change is the way the big organizations or companies understand how the work can be done. And that opened a lot of possibilities for creators. Now, And even yesterday, I saw it, a company from Montreal actually hiring, and they wrote in the subject like, you can work remotely anywhere you want. So it's something that before COVID was quite impossible. It was a big visual effects company. So this is the biggest change in my opinion. For the THU tribe, actually, THU not having with COVID, it helped THU in a way. And for the tribe, because the tribe is well connected, and we take care about all of us, or almost all of us. Like for the tribe was good. Like they had jobs. There was a lot of jobs during COVID in the creative industry. Our industry grew in COVID's time, so was not bad, to be honest. We had a couple of cases of creators that they were in a bad shape, that you went there and we helped them. That the majority was COVID was pretty good for them because there was a lot of work, and that's it.
Yeah, I think I mean, always the optimist. Good things can come out of bad situations, and I believe that with the COVID and then the social distancing that obviously needed to take place after that, it's fundamentally changed how production is done or will be done moving forward. And I think it's changed the industry for the better. And this is something that's really been needed for a long time, where now artists have a better work-life balance, where they can be home with their families. They can, work from.
They just need to go out. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can work
now that we.
world.
Yeah. Now that we have that, now we just need to. The only bad part that was for everyone, was not just for the creative industry, was we were at home with no social life. And obviously that gives us a lot of scars for the future, like mental health wise. No one can say that we are the same. There's a lot of things to actually understand. But in terms of the creative industry, the way it works and the kind of stuff that will bring to all of us as individuals was good. Because this literally shows that we can work from home. If you are from Portugal, you don't need to go to LA or London to actually work in the visual effects industry that in the past, or animation in the past, was an obligation. Or you can do it the same in Morocco, Algeria, Kenya, Ghana, and definitely open a lot of possibilities that we still need to advocate this. And there's a lot of things to do, but definitely is the biggest change.
Well, hey, thank you very much for being today's guest, and thank you very much to the Zoo organization for putting on the Horizon series, and thank you everyone for participating in today's session. Learn more about the Trojan Horse Was a Unicorn organization. Please visit their website, and once again, thank you very much for joining, and stay safe.
Thank you.